Hi, everyone. I wrote something today that I thought should be spoken, not just written. So thanks for listening. Here it goes. When Lullabies Heal. When I was a little girl, I'd often run ahead of my grandmother on our daily walks. I'd sometimes trip and skin my knee. It threw my grandmother off. We had some place to go, and she wasn't prepared with bandages and salve. I'd cry because of the sting and the shock and the abruptness of the fall. She did not want to see me hurt, so she always warned me not to run ahead. But my 6-year-old energy was much too much to contain, and off I would go, skipping my way ahead until I would fall, and then I would cry. No one wants to see a child cry. I do it to my own children. Stop crying. I told you not to run. The parental phrase, I told you so. Every child loves to hear that one. Somehow, the sting feels worse. The blood drips faster. The heart pounds deeper. I remember those days in the hospital as a first-time mother. I was in the nurse's station looking at my 5-pound baby girl, still nestled in her blanket, her eyes shut. She reminded me of a newborn baby bird. She seemed so tiny, so fragile, so unaware of what I got her into. She was about to take her first bath. The nurse kindly offered to show me how to do it. My baby didn't know it at that moment, but she was about to feel her first touch of water on her skin. I knew that sensation would cause discomfort in her, but she didn't. I clearly remember feeling this wave of sadness for that little being. She was about to experience discomfort, the first in the line of so many discomforts to come. I wanted so badly to protect her from it. It caused a sadness in me. Today, I am reminded of that sadness, of so many mothers, especially mothers of color, who have cried out to the world. Do they cry out in sadness and say, "Please, world, I am bringing you this child. Please don't hurt him. Please, world, love my baby boy. Please, world, treat my baby boy with love and respect. Honor my baby boy." My heart breaks when I think of those wounds. I want to say, don't cry, but I know that I cannot comprehend those cries. Never will I be able to comprehend them fully. All I can do is hear the cries. I cannot stifle them. They are not my tears to stifle. They are not my wounds to deny. All I can do is kneel beside that mother and let her cry. We live in a world where we can find any information we want at the touch of our fingers. And having all the information that we want to hear, we have an advantage. We can always say that we are right. We argue with one another on social media. Why do we do this? We know that we can't change another's perspective if one does not want to be changed. Because we argue in the hopes that we hear those much revered words. You are right. Those of us without skinned knees are arguing, forgetting the cries of those with wounded knees, fallen to the ground, crying in pain. We are well-intentioned, but we are afraid of being judged for not being well-intentioned, so we engage in arguments that divert from those cries. If we peel back the layers, if we reflect on why we so badly need to be right, we may understand that it comes from a place of fear. We are afraid that the values we hold dear may have been gray, not cut and dry. Grayness is uncomfortable, but gray can be earth-shattering, like the color of tall mountains that we must climb or rock-hard pavement that we must run through. It is what we see as a fire smolders, the soft gray plumes of smoke signaling the end of burning chaos. Gray is in the quiet of the foggy morning sky, the place where reflection can come. We all live in the gray. We can say that our nation is great and still admit that it is wounded. We do not diminish the glory of the American dream by kneeling next to those whose dreams were deterred. We need to let the wounded cry. The wounds are deep. My knees are not skinned, so it is never my place to undermine the movement of wounded knees. When we say things like all lives matter, we undermine, we diminish, we divert. As well-intentioned as we are saying, don't cry. But we need to cry in order to heal. The cries are necessary. As a nation, this is the moment we need to stop saying, stop crying. We instead need to kneel beside the wounded and listen. Listen to the powerful wails of injustice and not look away. We don't have to be right anymore. We may have to be wrong, and that is uncomfortable. And it is human nature to want to run away from uncomfortable. It's a human reaction. There is no judgment. As a nation, let us all kneel together. Kneel beside those who are wounded. Listen to the cries. Don't divert from it. Listen to the cries. They are painful. They carry generations of wounds that have not healed. And those of us without those wounds cannot say that these wounds do not exist. They are not your wounds to diminish. When I was a little girl, walking home with my grandmother, skinned knee and all, she would kneel beside my dirt-stained knee, gently wash it off, apply a bandage, and then sing me a lullaby. My eyes tear up as I remember this. Maybe as every woman of color prays for her nation to gently hold her baby dear, we can sit beside her and sing him a lullaby. A lullaby for those born into this great nation and this hurting nation. Born under a cloudy gray sky, let's kneel beside and sing him a lullaby. Only then can those wounds start to heal. Thank you for listening.